Hey, welcome back to Not So Southern Gentlemen. I'm Ricky.
And I'm Sean.
Sean,
Yeah.
did you watch? Did you see? I mean,
wait. Did you see Mark Hamill tweeted, "Hey, has anybody seen anything good on TV lately?"
I did. I did notice that. Yeah.
And then I did notice him tweet that they have kept this secret for over a year. He's been involved for over a year.
Oh,
and
yeah.
known about all of it.
Well, you got to remember. So
amazing job at keeping a secret. Thank goodness you didn't have Tom Holland on your team.
I don't know if we'd say anything about keeping one secret, because we saw the season finale of Mandalorian on Friday, and man, let me tell you something. We knew about Ahsoka. We knew about spoilers.
Are we just going to talk it?
We knew about almost everybody in this series before it even premiered. I mean, they were just dropping left and right. You know, Rosario Dawson is Ahsoka in this. Oh, crowd, she's coming back as Bo-Katan. It's going to be her, and she's in there. And we're like, oh my God, what? Okay, they didn't do this last season, but I mean, is this
Boba
official?
Fett's actor on the list, or the Jango Fett actor? So we knew it'd be Boba, you know. And
well, I mean, to be fair, his has been a toss-up. He could have been 1,000 different people, literally. So yeah. That was really exciting, but that was, the one thing. Oh, well, we don't know exactly who he is. And then we saw the finale. Sean, what was your opinion of the finale, first of all?
Pretty amazing. Pretty amazing. Like, movie level amazing. And even with all that, and I'm saying this with a smile on my face, am I wrong, and will you hate me forever if I just say a teeny tiny bit of disappointment?
No, I won't, because I have some things to talk about.
A ton of amazingness, but just there is a little disappointment in there for me. A little bit of disappointment for the finale of Mandalorian. A lot of awesomeness, but a little bit of disappointment. Now, are we going spoilers here? Are we telling everybody? Are we?
We are. Guys, I mean, it's,
I think everybody listening,
half a week later, everybody who cares has watched this thing, and it's all over the internet, like the day of.
You almost didn't make it, didn't you?
No, I made it all the way home.
Okay.
That afternoon, I couldn't get. I watched it with my son, and it was amazing.
Yeah.
But as soon as I got done with that and got on the computer, first thing on YouTube, reaction video to so and so. I'm like, oh, well, I'm glad I didn't do that.
Yep. Almost the exact same thing happened to Michelle. We finished the episode, and we had both set our phones to the side, for watching Mando. And when it was done, she looked and she's like, wow, look at my notifications. And 2 of them had the Jedi's face right on the front of the thing. And I was like, wow. She's like, I'm so glad I didn't just look down at my phone randomly throughout the episode. I would have been really sad.
So before we get into the entire episode, let me talk about how I felt about the episode. Now, there was a bunch of reaction videos out there, people, jumping up and down about all this and everything.
Yeah.
During the episode, there were some things that were a bit stiff. The dialogue was a little stiff. The acting was a little stiff. Now, don't get me wrong. Every bit of the action wiped away anything I had to do with any of that. I was super excited. We got dark troopers everywhere. We got a badass hallway fight scene that's the trend since Daredevil. We got, space battle, and we got Boba Fett in there. We've got people shooting left and right, and not apparently are invincible because none of them get hit ever. But I mean, they're fighting stormtroopers, I guess. Whatever.
Yeah.
We got a lightsaber battle. A couple of lightsaber battles. We got, we got a bunch of stuff that was great. But in the middle of some of the dialogue, it was once again a little stiff. I mean, and this was Peyton Reed. This is the guy that directed Ant-Man.
Yeah.
And he directed an earlier episode this season that I've heard a lot of people agree it was not the best episode.
Yeah. He did the Frog Lady episode.
Yeah. And I didn't. That episode was fine with me.
It was filler.
It's a little bit boring. Yeah.
It was filler. It was filler.
But yeah, I mean, but I super enjoyed it, and let's go ahead and get up to the end. The big.
So, well, for you, the moment the X-wing docks, So I just asked you about if you knew when the X-wing docked. If you knew, did you know? Because I never even heard your answer, so I'm sorry.
And in my heart, yes, I did, but I immediately was like, no, it could be anybody. It's a misdirect. So it wasn't until
the color of the lightsaber.
Well, even that, it's like, well, are they going to show? And then the gloved hand is like, oh, yeah, okay, here we go. Okay, well, okay, I'm fine with it. Let's do this. And then let's talk about the CGI, because
well, first off, before we get to something negative, let's talk about the Light Father.
Well, I kind of wanted to knock the negative out and then talk.
Okay. Let's knock the negative out.
Yeah, I want to get all that out of the way. And because the CGI, the face, they'll
go back and improve.
Within a day, somebody on YouTube had done the deep fake of it, and it looked better.
Yeah.
And that's kind of annoying, But
here's what I don't understand is we got Grand Moff Tarkin, who looked decent. You knew he was plastic. He looked plastic-y.
Right, and it was a few years ago. Yeah, the deep fake stuff hadn't came out yet.
But you knew that guy was dead. So you're like, you know what? I'm going to let that slide. That's not really bad for resurrecting somebody that hasn't been on this planet for a few years. Then we got Leia. Leia looked a little better. But still not great. And now we've got Luke, who looks worse than Grand Moff Tarkin.
No, I wouldn't go that far. I mean, it was step. Yeah, I mean, I was fine with it during the episode.
Here's the problem I had with it. It's not that the face looked bad. I think it was off center. It almost looked like one of those, those images where no matter where I go, the face is following me, the eyes follow me, no matter what. That's kind of like what his head was like. I don't know. It was weird.
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah.
And what made that worse is that immediately, like within a day, somebody had a deep fake out there that looked better. and you're like, well, okay, why isn't the studio using this software? If this can do this, why aren't we looking at this? But anyway, that's all fine.
They spend all their time
like I said,
on the previous 2 minutes and 30 seconds or whatever.
This episode delivered in a story way, in a satisfaction way, in a finale way. Yeah. It started with them getting the gang together. We had Boba Fett and Bo-Katan moments, and I was like sitting with Logan going, oh, Bo-Katan's going to recognize that voice. And sure enough, she's like, oh, you mean your donor? You're a clone.
Yeah, it was good.
And that was pretty awesome. I loved it. Gosh dang it, dude.
Okay.
I just wish Boba Fett was around a little longer, but that would have been with Luke Skywalker. That'd have been a little awkward. But
last time I saw you were trying to kill me.
But then kind of a reason at the very end if you stayed past the credits. So
yeah,
that's pretty awesome. I don't even know where to start. Sean, do you want to talk about anything specific in the episode?
I love, honestly, the elephant in the room is the like father, like son hallway scene where they're just ripping down. I've got if you look on my Twitter, I've retweeted a video that has them both playing one on top of the other. And, it's wonderful to see good old Anakin and Luke doing, that. Watching them, Michelle goes, you realize she goes, we don't have many Jedi to compare to, but Anakin and Luke fight very similarly, especially if you watch both those hallway scenes.
Well, I mean, it was designed that way. I mean, that hallway scene is mirrored after the Vader scene that, of course, Garth
Rogue One.
Yeah, in Rogue One.
Right.
And that was I didn't know I needed that, and nobody did, because that was a late add to that movie, and it was the best thing. I love Rogue One. Rogue One is a great movie.
Yes.
That scene elevates that movie. It's like if you could imagine Daredevil without that hallway fight.
It's still good. But it might not have been as good.
That hallway fight was all you talked about for a week, and this. And them taking this story in this episode and making that parallel to that father and son relationship, the fight. I mean, and he pulls off he crushes the Dark Trooper. That's not normal Jedi fare there. He's showing a little bit of the dark side, and and
I like that.
That's where kind of everybody's kind of hoping the story goes, is showing maybe not the Jedi was the perfect way to use the Force. Maybe there is a gray, zone that's not. Yeah, the balance. Maybe the balance is in there, and that would be great.
Yeah.
If they did it that way.
Other questions. We'll wrap up the episode. We were saying we were going to talk negative things, and then we talked a bunch of positives. And my negatives, if I had to do a short list of 3 negatives out of an episode I loved.
Shoot.
I love this episode. 1, I'm disappointed it's a Skywalker. 2, regardless of how they resolve this and whether it becomes a thing or not, I very much dislike any kind of thing between the Darksaber and Bo-Katan. That's kind of silly to me. I don't like the instilling conflict between partners. That's silly to me. I don't care for that storyline whatsoever. And if I was to say another thing, I don't know. I don't know if I got 3. I started to say I had 3, but I think I only have 2. That's really the only things. I'm kind of disappointed it was a Skywalker, and I don't like that they inserted conflict for no reason, unless I'm wrong, and this plays out into a cool little storyline. But if it ends up being something where they make Bo-Katan and Mando throw down and then he loses the fight, then, well, did he lose on purpose so that he can just get it over with? But then if he wins, I can just see this. Don't pit fans versus each other. Don't pit colleagues versus each other. I just don't like this storyline in any way, shape, or form. It just seems
ASU, A-State, Just kidding. I did like how they did show somebody could immediately go, oh, well, this Beskar Steel is invincible from a lightsaber. And then, of course, he was fighting with the staff. And it showed if he held the staff there very long, it was going to melt. So
yeah,
I did like that little touch in there. I did like that, unbeknownst to me or anybody else, during that whole time, they had done this story so well and got everything planned. The attack on the cruiser, the diversion, was all women. Didn't even notice it. And not that I care, but I'm just saying, somebody pointed out after the episode, like, oh, well, yeah, I guess so. I guess it was. But, I mean, it makes sense in the story, because that's how, I mean, there's been, since last season, he surrounded himself with these people, and they just so happen to be women.
It's like awesome. It's like I told you, they really are a great party makeup. The Mandalorians are great DPS. You got Fennec, who's a sniper, and then you got your heavy arms, with Kara. So they make a great little party running around, going up on missions. They tear things up. They're a great group makeup. And
I like how she unjammed the rifle.
Do what?
I like how she unjammed her rifle.
Oh man, that was wonderful. I loved it. Absolutely great, dude. It was just, like I said, it was a really fun episode, and I truly don't have any issues with it. Just a few.
Now, in the moment, how excited were you when you realized Luke Skywalker? Because I was super excited.
Michelle looked at my face and she goes, "Are you excited?" And I was like, "Yeah, kind of."
Oh, okay. I was super excited.
It's,
Me and Logan were jumping up and down. It was great. Yeah.
I just made the episode, the comments in the last episode. I don't care what it is, as long as it's not a Skywalker.
Well, sure enough, you did get that moment.
You got to give us a Skywalker.
You got that moment whenever, I didn't even think about it, R2 rolls around the corner.
Now, when R2 shows up, all is forgiven, man. All is forgiven. I freaking love R2-D2, my favorite droid. He's the best.
Yeah, and
He's
then,
the best.
I didn't normally stay for the credits and stuff, and I didn't know. I did not know.
Oh, you didn't?
There was an after credit scene. No. But I was like, I had a feel. I was like, "What? Let's just watch this one play out and see if there's anything," because it's a season ender.
Mm-hmm.
It feels like there's something else there. The way they just left that scene. It was. Don't get me wrong. Luke leaving in the elevator was a perfect Star Wars transition scene. Yeah, that does feel right, but it felt like there was something left unsaid. So it was like I just let it play, and then whenever Jabba the Hutt's palace showed up, I was like, "What is this?"
I was like, "Whoa, we're in Mos Eisley." I was like, "What's going on?" I was like, "Oh, we're in Jabba's place." I was like,
the most unexpected return of 2020, Bib Fortuna.
Bib Fortuna,
or Bib Fat Tuna is what we want to say. Like, Jesus, dude.
Yeah.
Get off that throne.
He's trying to replace some Jabba-ness.
Man, he ate all the Salacious B crumbs.
So now pretty much Tatooine is Boba's, what are you gonna do with it?
See, this is very interesting. So we know nothing of the Book of Boba Fett. We got after the show, like yesterday or maybe this morning. I don't remember which. I think it's yesterday. They put up the logo for the show, and it looks great. It's Boba Fett colors, of course.
Yeah.
And my imagination, if you let me run wild, is that probably we'll get the story of Boba Fett escaping the Sarlacc. Worked into whatever the story's going to be of him taking over the Hutt cartel.
So my question to you is somebody that has probably worked for the Hutt in the past. Do you think is Maul still alive?
See, that's where I was going to go. There's an article on that I put in here that very much points to, with the Lando series coming out, that gives room to put in
Darth
and Maul. Obi-Wan's coming as well.
Mm-hmm.
The Darth Maul series.
Yeah.
The Darth Maul in the Obi-Wan series and Lando series, plus
Boba Fett series.
What was her name? Queen of Dragons in the show. Khaleesi. Anyway, Khaleesi was in Solo, and she was working for him. She will probably show back up, and they could hit all three of these shows. Yeah. Like Darth Maul could be in all three shows. Honestly, because now he's he's running the criminal underworld in part of the galaxy.
Mm-hmm.
So
all of that is exciting. That he would have run-ins with the Hutt.
Can you imagine Boba Fett versus Darth Maul? I'm just saying.
After watching, do you get the feel like Moff Gideon was definitely untrained with that lightsaber, correct?
Oh yeah. There's no way he wasn't force sensitive at all.
He's just wielding it like a sword. It is fun to see. Not that it wouldn't be different in the hands of a trained Jedi, but it gave you a sense of why Jedi versus Mandalorian was probably a pretty epic fight to watch. You know, some Jedis throw down with some Mandos. That probably was pretty cool. Hey everybody, we're back. We changed clothes, we changed sets. The lighting is different. I think it's a different day.
Room may be a little cleaner. Who knows? I don't know.
We ran into life happens, and so we're going to continue on the podcast. We had started discussing Mandalorian. That led into Boba Fett. And I want to admit something. We have literally had probably 3 or 4 days since the first recording.
Since part A, yeah.
Since
the first part of the podcast. Okay. Yeah.
I need to? I went pretty hard on my disappointment with Mandalorian bringing us a Skywalker, and. You know,
I like how you're on a down note right now.
Well, here's the deal. What? I have watched so many YouTube videos of grown men doing reaction videos to that final episode, and it ends with tears flowing. And it got me thinking, maybe Luke is what we needed. Maybe we can take this storyline wherever this goes, and maybe they'll bite on some retcon, and we could get a Luke that we could all know, respect, and love in future movies. We wouldn't.
Okay.
Because I'm saying, if you're gonna bring me a Skywalker, I'm okay with it.
See, we were going one way with your expectations for the episode. Now you're dragging the episode into your expectations for the next whatever's going to happen. And don't get me wrong. I've seen the evidence. Yeah. And I've seen where they say, a couple of times they kind of pounded it in that, the Force means nothing without training. Yes, I did see all that. Mm-hmm. And that does kind of fly in the face of some future events in this story. But Dave Filoni has turned me around on the prequels.
Here's the keys.
Through the sheer force of will.
Favreau and Filoni, take the keys.
Well, Filoni has turned me around completely on, not completely, but I mean on the episode 1, 2, and 3. How they fit into how he has made them fit into the Star Wars universe, and it's a beautiful tapestry that he's done. He took the raw material and did something great with it, and is continuing to do so. And if he moves forward, and Disney is willing to do something a little different, I don't know, but I mean, where they're going with whatever they're doing is completely fine. I mean, those movies happen. I'm not delusional about.
I got you.
Well, maybe they'll make them all. What if, no, they're not going to do that. They're not going to throw these movies out. They're not. It's just not.
And another thing. Well, go ahead, finish that thought, because
I mean, if they do anything along those lines, it will completely surprise me. I won't say never, but I would be happily surprised if they did such a thing, because I'm not even putting it in my thoughts as something that I'm going to start expecting, because it's just not reasonable to think that way. Would it be great? Yeah, sure. Yeah, I'll admit that. Yeah, it'd be great if they went and fixed a couple of errors they made. Which, like I said, I don't think the first movie is an error. I don't think Episode 7, The Force Awakens, is an error. They did some really good groundwork of things I really wanted to see. They teased out a lot of stuff that got me thinking. It got me excited about Star Wars again. Just like there were a couple of things. It's kind of flipped from Episode 1. Episode 1 had just a couple of things that spurred imagination greatly and were amazing in that. Mm-hmm. And the rest of it was kind of, for the old Star Wars fans. Episode 7 was more like a lot of amazing things for the old Star Wars fans and some new stuff for the, the newer people. And it's just how they meandered on the second and tried to fix the third movie. You know, we've been through those arguments.
Yes, yes.
But there's great points in everything, and if Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau are writing the ship, I'm there for it. I'm there for Star Wars. Absolutely. I'm there to support anything you're doing. Just like, let me ask you this. So I don't know if we've asked this question, but you've got a couple of different kinds of Star Wars fans. You've got the hardcore lore Star Wars fans.
Okay.
You've got the kids who grew up, watching Star Wars, which is us. Yes. And right alongside that, you've got the hardcore character fans. Like there's somebody who's talks about Han Solo. You knew these kids. Most of us were Boba Fett fanatics. And I'm not saying I'm the worst person ever for Boba Fett, but as a kid, they did exactly what you do with a great character and great storytelling. You show enough that everybody wants to know, what does this mean? Who is this? Yeah. Oh my God, I need more of this. Yeah. Left us hanging. That was Boba Fett. That was in that movie. Boba Fett was... So you had Luke Skywalker, who is your hero.
Right.
And you have Darth Vader and Emperor Palpatine, who are the villains. Well, you also had your heroes. You had a group of heroes. It wasn't just one guy doing everything. You had Han Solo, and he had his own arch nemesis, who was defined as Boba Fett. Never came out and said it that way, but that's how it was. It was Boba a B story with a B bad guy. I mean, that's who he was. Yep. And that was fascinating to us. Were you a hardcore Boba Fett guy?
I've always liked Boba Fett, for no other reason than why was Han Solo so terrified of this guy, why was he told no disintegrations? Like, as Darth sent him on missions before and he's came back and been like, well, I got him a little bit disintegrated. He's in a jar here. Where's those other things coming from?
Yeah, I mean, that definitely was don't get me wrong. I don't remember hardly anything from the holiday special. I know the Boba Fett figure came. I mean, I watched the holiday special, but I don't really remember anything about it. Now, I know I had a Boba Fett figure before the movie came out because that Empire Strikes Back card with that character in that armor with that flamethrower and just looks so cool, and you're like, what is this? And then, you see Empire Strikes Back, and he turns right to the dude and says, no disintegrations, and walks off, and you're like, what is that about?
All these other guys are there, and they really nailed it. Guy? Yeah. Why are you calling out this guy? Yeah, they really
nailed it. And
loved it.
And they were so smart in not doing anything else with it. Even in Return of the Jedi. Yeah, he went out like a punk, but it was, it was kind of funny. He had to be taken out by Han Solo. Why not? And Han Solo at his worst took out his best competition, which is really funny.
Yes.
And they waited years to do anything with that. And Boba Fett is sit there and stewed. And my thing about that is the hardcore Star Wars fans that knew all the lore hated Boba Fett. Oh, they call them gatekeepers these days. But, you're just going to talk about Boba Fett? Listen, let me give you 15 reasons why Boba Fett's the worst character in Star Wars. I don't know if you knew any of those guys, but I went to college with about 8 of them. So that's kind of where that's set. But
I think I went to a Comic-Con with a couple of those guys one time.
I think I know what you're talking about. But yeah, seeing Boba Fett getting announced for his own series, seeing Morrison play this character again, as Jango, the voices of the clones, that being alluded to in the show, and now he's getting his own show with Ming-Na Wen,
who is I just think that freaking awesome.
I loved her in Agent. She's one of the reasons I watched Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Really,
I'm
her and Coulson were. Oh. Yeah. And I can't wait to see where they take this.
Yes.
Because if they're going to do like a super series and Avengers of the Star Wars stuff.
Oh.
Man, I can't wait to see Boba Fett back in it again. So
yeah. Another thing that I had thought of since last recording was R2 shows up. He apparently he does a sound that is his joy and excitement sound, according to several articles I've read, and a pretty adamant Reddit post. And they actually went back. You know how the internet does, so take this for what it was. But that sound he makes when he did Grogu, apparently it's his greeting sound when he meets people he's already known. So that has led many articles and Reddit posts to R2 is who helped, Grogu escape the Jedi Temple in Order 66. People have went back and looked at, apparently R2 was with Anakin when they landed at the Jedi Temple, and he told him to stay, which we know R2 listens. We know R2 listens to rules oh so well, So if all that is true, and I haven't done the research myself, I've just read some articles and some Reddit posts, I do like the idea of R2 being our helper for Grogu. That's pretty cool for me. I like that, mainly because R2 is my favorite droid, so might as well stick with that. I like it.
You mean BB-8? You mean BB-8? R2 BB-8?
Man.
Is that right?
Inside troll there. Inside troll.
So here's my problem with that. Now, and I don't have a problem with you wanting that to happen. That's perfectly fine.
Gotcha.
But they do this and then they forget about something whenever they break their own rules. And what I mean by is like any movie, like a horror movie, has a bunch of rules that they can't break, and if they do, you kind of breaks the movie. Well,
the Scream rules. Yeah.
You have Anakin and Obi-Wan, and all these Jedi can kind of feel when another Force users around. This one, the Force is strong with this one, and this is a presence I haven't felt since that kind of thing.
Right.
And if R2 is sneaking Grogu on the same starfighter as Anakin, I mean, wouldn't he kind of notice?
I don't know.
I mean, did he shove him in a box and leave him under the temple somewhere? I don't know. I mean, they're not together. So, I mean, yeah, I guess he could have shunted him somewhere while, and he made it through, which obviously he did somehow.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, as long as it's logical.
It's cool for me. I'm still hanging out for, there's still hope for some Samuel L. Jackson, Mace Windu action.
Yeah, I was fixing to say, I'm still hoping Mace Windu shows up.
Yeah. I'm still, I would really like that, to see some Mace Windu. I just wanted to throw that out there. Do we have anything else to add about Boba Fett and Mandalorian?
One more thing. I did watch the Star Wars Galaxies, the hour-long episode about the making of season 2.
Yeah.
Excellent. I recommend everybody watch that.
Okay.
It's so great. It basically talks about all the directors and their episodes. You get behind the scenes with Robert Rodriguez, who is just an adorable man. He is amazing.
Who is attached to the Boba Fett series.
Robert Rodriguez. And for good reason. He made, to pitch him directing an episode, he took his children, Star Wars costumes they already had, by the way, and his own Star Wars figures, and did a daily of the episode he wanted to do. Which is amazing. Yes, absolutely.
I love Robert Rodriguez.
They're like Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau were like, this is our guy. I mean, this is the guy. So, I mean, and all the directors were great. Even Howard, Bryce Dallas Howard, she was wonderful. Amazing. And her episode was great, by the way.
Yeah, I love Bryce Dallas Howard. She's awesome.
And
do you think now that Rodriguez is tied in, we'll ever get Mandalorian directed by dadgummit, now I just brain farted on his name, Quentin Tarantino.
Oh, Quentin Tarantino.
That Tarantino Mandalorian. I don't want to see it. It was a joke, but I love
the Django version of the Django. See, Django.
There you
and
go.
that is the name, where the name comes from. That, of course, that old Western. That yeah. Django Fett.
So funny.
Django.
So funny. Do it.
But anyway, enough Star Wars. We're done talking about Star Wars.
Enough Star Wars. It feels like we've been talking about Star Wars for 2 episodes now. Maybe. Pretty close to it. Another thing that is coming to Netflix, and I don't know how much interaction or how many you've watched about
Attack on Titan.
Netflix's
Akira
take on anime. Netflix's live action animes. Full Metal Alchemist. Let's not even talk about that. Death Note. Atrociously awful. Bleach. It's the best there is, and it's pretty bad.
Well, let's not forget, they did have the original creators of Avatar on board for their live action show, and they went overboard. So
yes. Okay, so
it's not looking good.
We know Cowboy Bebop is on the way. But it looks like the next in line after Cowboy Bebop will be Yu Yu Hakusho, which I'm very excited for, It'll be awesome to see the Spirit Detective in action. I have high hopes on this. I really do. I've read several articles that say that this isn't going to be, they're
now, Sean,
to do the correct casting for this film. That's what they're going to try to do.
Let me ask you this before you dig into all that.
All right.
Explain to me a little bit about what is Yu Yu Hakusho.
Okay, so let me. I had all this brought up, and then it literally just crashed on me. Okay,
but you're the fan.
I know I am the fan, but I want to get all the names and stuff right. Okay, so you got this bad kid. This is very normal anime. There's the bad kid, Yusuke Urameshi, and he goes up against, his rival always in high school, Kuwabara, and, the start of it is they're always throwing down, and, there's fights in high school and whatever. Anyway, Yusuke ends up sacrificing his life to push a child out of the way of a moving vehicle, at which point he does a selfless act. So he gets released from his body, but he's not good enough to go to heaven. And he's done a lot of bad things, so he's not going to hell. So in other words, he gets teamed up to be a spirit detective. And, it's good. He learns how to do all the stuff. He goes and learns from an old master, Genkai. It's really good. I like it. He's led around by Botan, his character, his friend who kind of leads him through all the stuff that is Yu.
I'm assuming there's a lot of hijinks ensuing and all this.
There's a lot of fighting. The one reason I like Yu Yu Hakusho is once you get the ball rolling, there are some amazing fights. It's normal tournament fighting style where, they have to go do this, and when they get there, they have to go through a series of, tribulations or trials or whatever to get to the final. It's very simple. It's not overly complicated, very much kind of like Bleach, only not like Bleach, but, they're all kind of the same. I like Yu Yu Hakusho, and I really hope they do a good job, and I really hope they do a good job on Cowboy Bebop. Those are 2 of my favorites. I'm glad to see them being brought to live action if they do it the right way. And I hope they do it the right way.
I don't have much figured out.
I don't have much faith in them, but I have read several articles that say, all right, before you start hating on Yu Yu Hakusho, they're casting this person to do this, and they have these credentials. So hopefully things will be better. Let's give it another try.
Let's look at the, is anime something that needs remade? I mean, can you name one instance where an anime was faithfully remade and was really good?
No. No.
I mean, the closest.
You're talking
the closest
to a guy.
we've gotten. I think the closest we've gotten is the big budget Alita Battle Angel because James Cameron loved the original anime, put money behind it, put some love behind it, and it looks, it's okay and done really
good.
well. I haven't seen.
We loved it.
The Ghost in the Shell. Go ahead. Okay. No. Okay. Go ahead. Talk about.
We really loved Alita. We really did. We loved Alita Battle Angel. We hope there's a second one. I really do hope there's another one coming.
I think a couple months ago there was talk about maybe a second one happening.
Yeah, I know. We'll see if the Rona kicked that in the head. I don't know, man. Aeon Flux wasn't terrible. Wasn't great. Wasn't terrible.
So I mean, I can't give that one a good shot because I never liked the show on Liquid Television. I couldn't stand the animation they chose. I mean, I know people raved about the story, but it was just too it looked kind of like somebody looked at anime and goes, "Hey, let's do an anime, but let's make sure it looks American but stylized after just Jesus Christ. It's way too over blocky and angular, and it's just I
don't know. I didn't hate on it. I didn't hate it.
It gave me a headache looking at it.
But you talk about disappointment. I'm the guy that went to the midnight showing of Attack on Titan in theaters. Yeah. I was so disappointed. So disappointed. So,
where did you actually see that over? You're talking about the live action movie they made, right?
Yeah. There's a part 1 and part 2. I've seen them both.
Yeah. Where did you see that play?
The Rave.
Okay. I didn't know that actually played over here.
Yeah. The Rave. Anything that's very limited release, the Rave in Little Rock will have it. If you see any that's where I went to see all my Dragon Ball Z's, all Dragon Ball Super movies. Besides the one I had to go see with you in Hot Springs, I went to all the others. Yeah,
that was fun. Yeah, Return of Fusion. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I will have to take a step back. I do have to say, I really enjoyed the live action Star Blazers movie, which was, of course, Space Battleship Yamato from Japan. Steven Tyler did. I've got it on Blu-ray.
That's
awesome. It's faithful to the anime.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason I say Star Blazers is if you're in the range of 40 to 48 years old, there was, an anime that was brought over. One of the first, they started doing in the 70s was Star Blazers, Space Battleship Yamato. And of course, it's the story of they find the Yamato, which was sunk in World War II, and they rebuild it as a ship to save humanity because aliens have been attacking and taking over and causing scorched earth planet stuff, and they go off to fight them in space. And it's really if 70s anime, it really this defines it. I mean, it's like watching Speed Racer or any of the stuff of that time. It just has a feeling to it, and I love it. I absolutely love it. And the live action movie captured a bit of that. And
that's cool.
I thought it was beautiful. It was amazing. Yeah. Not like the Gundam, they did make a live action Gundam movie. And I'm not going to lie to you. the 2 minutes. Yeah, they did. I've got it on DVD. There are 2 minutes of the RX-78 in Ready Player One. Those 2 minutes are better than that hour 15.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, this is on the topic of anime, but not live action. You need to check out Gundam Iron-Blooded Orphans on Netflix.
I've watched like part of the first episode, but it was immediately too mature for children to be in the room.
Yes.
So
yes.
I got to work that into my after everybody goes to sleep kind of showing, which I have to budget. I have a real job, so I can't really do that much. So
I'm with you. If you get a chance to slip in some Iron-Blooded Orphans, anybody listening, check that out on Netflix.
You're
very good.
Now. Is Gundam Wing still your favorite Gundam? I mean, is that the take all end all? For you?
Yeah. This is, although this is up there. A lot of this has got a lot of momentum behind it. I've watched the first 3 or 4 episodes, and I'm in. I will say this: I have a friend that has never watched Wing, but he was telling me to watch Iron-Blooded Orphans, and he was telling me about the first episode of Iron-Blooded Orphans to pull me in. And when he tells me, I will say this: episode 1 opposed to episode 1, there's quite a few similarities between Wing and Iron-Blooded Orphans. You know, a father who is a political official versus a daughter who is the daughter of that political official but has different views. And I was like, man, you sure you're watching Iron-Blooded Orphan? You sure you're watching Iron-Blooded Orphan and not Wing? He's like, oh yeah, Iron-Blooded Orphan. It's on Netflix. And sure enough, like, you know, there's a few similarities here and there between that. So I'm not too far in, but it definitely seems like something I'm going to enjoy. So you got to check that out. What are you doing? He is digging through something. Oh, I see.
Well,
what he's
something
digging
I probably should have brought this up there to you. Whenever I came up there.
Yes.
Yeah, Mr. Scott McNeil signature right there.
Duo Maxwell. That is correct.
I was actually looking through some Marvel graphic novels I have up there. They're magazine size format, and that's where I keep.
Oh yes, I need to get that.
Why didn't I bring that to Sean?
I need to find that. That's amazing. Thanks for the blast from the past. I love it.
So, just real quick, you said your favorite Gundam. Mine was Mobile Suit Gundam 083 Stardust Memory. It has the best mobile suit I ever seen in it, and it's the GP02A, the nuclear Gundam.
Yes.
Love that design. Yes. Love that anime.
Hey.
Followed up by 8th MS Team.
If it wasn't for 0083, I wouldn't know about Wing. Only reason I got into it was from watching it at your apartment. You would leave that on and running, and we would just watch it in the background. And dude, that is what made me, when Wing came around and I was like, hey, Rick used to watch Gundam, I'll check this out. Dude, if it wasn't for 0083 Stardust Memories, I wouldn't be on Wing. So yeah, thanks to you for giving me some good background on some Gundam stuff.
Yeah, I wish I had time to dig into more of it. Like,
oh yeah,
it's just if you're a fan of anything American and you're looking for anything else, if you'll dig into a little Gundam, start with the main series, because they've been doing multiverse since the mid '80s. Because that, like Gundam Wing, that's a multiverse story. Gundam, what's the boxing one? I don't remember, but that's like a side. Yeah, well, like 08th MS Team is in the main universe, but it's wonderful. A lot of it's wonderful. Look at it sometime.
Absolutely.
Let's get back on our road here. Sean, do you have anything before we go to local hall?
Oh, no. I'm good. I am good to go.
Okay. Well, I mean, I talked to a local guy, my guy out of Mountain View. Yeah. And I picked up some really good books. Amazing Spider-Man number 132 in great condition. Avengers 123. We're talking like 25-cent books, for a great price. A Black Suit Spider-Man Marvel team up. Not the one, not the the first one, but this just had a cool cover. It has Nomad on it. And I'm almost done completing my Death's Head collection. Marvel UK, and then I picked up some Avengers first appearance. I have this actually. I have in that big collection. I actually have one of these, but it's not in good condition. So I did pick up the facsimile edition.
Is that from my comic
facsimile?
Shop?
This is facsimile.
I started to say, I was like, do you see how pretty that is? That's wow. You get that from my comic shop?
Yeah, I did. Most of my collecting these days, like there's a facsimile edition of Star Wars #1. I got that from my comic shop. I really like, and they don't sponsor us in any way. I'm not shilling for them. I just really like mycomicshop.com. They have a great want list, and they send me emails.
Post.
But they have a great want list that just pops on my notifications when something comes in. So
I love it. Yeah, I feel my want list.
I mean, we can't get out anyway.
Yeah, I mean,
don't get me wrong. I will. If I had a local comic book shop, living in, rural Arkansas, it's just not a thing. I mean, there's been 2 I can think of in the nearest town of Batesville that we're no longer there.
Yeah.
The closest comic book shop that stays anywhere is in Jonesboro. So
yeah. Well, I've got 2, but one is at a minimum 45 minutes away, and another one's an hour to an hour and 15 away. And in this day and age, I just don't feel like it. I mean, I really hate to say that because I want to go support them. I want to make sure that they have money, income, and stuff happening so that they can be there when all this blows over. But I just that's not in me to go and drive that far and do all that. I just don't have that much time. Even if I went to one that's 45 minutes away, that's 45 minutes each way that I have other commitments and stuff to do. So, yeah, I enjoy a good local comic shop as much as anybody, and I really hope a lot of them survive this. But mycomicshop.com has always treated me well, and I think their prices are fair for all their, their used stuff. It's good.
Good stuff. I did actually. So I met Brad in Sheridan. I actually went to Sheridan, Arkansas last weekend. And there was a meetup at Blast from the Past Comics. Met the owner.
Nice.
It's a really great store.
I got a couple
of Transformers. Yeah, it's a really, really great store. And he's making, even during the pandemic, he's doing a great job of keeping open and serving the customers and everything.
I know Collector's
we
Paradise.
Stayed there for 4 or 5 hours.
Well, I know Collector's Paradise's eBay store has just blown up. So hopefully I think they're definitely posting more stuff. So hopefully they
and that's what I was going to say. Like if you'll make sure to check out your local comic book store online to see if they're doing eBay auctions or selling product right on their own front page, then I would advise that. Not that I have a problem with like an Amazon or my comic shop, but if you can get it from the local guy, get it from the local guy. Absolutely.
Oh, so other than Christmas stuff, I ain't got much local haul. I got this letterboard and got this light that's probably been messing with everybody since I started recording. But I got some good times with some families over the holidays. You have some good times, happy children, I take it.
We did, yeah. So speaking of local haul, my son hauled in a PlayStation 5, so he's already beaten Miles Morales, which is an amazing game.
Really
beautiful game, absolutely beautiful.
Nice.
I mean, the Spider-Man on PlayStation 4 is an amazing looking game already. He was able to turn on ray tracing and particle effects and all that, and just reflections in windows and the eyes, and it's just unreal. It looks great. And I don't regret it a bit. I'm so happy that he's able to. We got PlayStation Plus, and he's up for another year, and he's going, and he loves it. He's playing with his cousin, who also got a PlayStation 5. I don't know what miracle happened for that to occur, but anyway.
That is way cool.
And then,
well, I did win a drawing at work and added a Nintendo Switch to our family collection. So that is really fun. Nintendo's online stuff is a little weird because you pay $20.
It's always been. Nintendo stuff online has always been funky. I don't know why that is.
Yeah, I don't
get
it.
Anything like that. I mean, I've complained about it before. The Nintendo Classic, the Wii U. Oh, the stores they don't make sense. They don't do the smart things like, hey, here's more games. Just buy them.
Yeah, I know.
Here's a storefront. Just buy the games and add them to your device.
like Nintendo. I know you know this company called Sony. Got to check out their PlayStation store. Looks pretty dope.
Yeah, I mean, if it works, it works.
Yeah. I have had fun with it, though. I have had fun with the Switch. It's good.
Awesome. Well, something else we all got for Christmas, if you have HBO Max, I watched Wonder Woman. So Wonder Woman 1984.
You told me this, and I've screenshot a lot of my Facebook friends' posts, and I want you to give me your reaction, and then I want to read their posts.
Okay, well, let's start with my feelings on Wonder Woman, which everybody knows. The first Wonder Woman movie, absolutely great. Patty Jenkins did a wonderful job. She fought for the trench scene, which everybody else wanted to cut out, which is ridiculous because it makes the movie. I love that movie. I'm watching it multiple times a year. It's great. It's Wonder Woman, and Gal Gadot is perfect in that role. Wonder Woman 1984. It's not. So like I told you, it's not that Patty Jenkins made a bad movie. It honestly is not. Yeah. I mean, it's shot well, it's filmed well, the shots that are in it are great, the action's great. It's just the story is a cluster. It is just it from the moment, and your suspension of disbelief at the start of the movie is just broken all the way through. I mean, it doesn't make any sense. Nothing's really believable. You don't know why it's all fantastical beyond what you're used to. I mean, it's really disjarring.
Yeah.
On seeing the first movie and then seeing this movie back to back. And like I said, I'm not too sure that it's Patty Jenkins. I mean, feeling I walked away from this movie was that Warner Brothers forced this to happen. Force this into being, like a game company that puts out a game before it's ready to meet a deadline. That's kind of how this felt. Like there's DLC coming that's too late, or there's missing faces with floating eyeballs. I mean, that's kind of what it is.
That's pretty funny. One comment. I'll leave all this anonymous, but it's absolutely hilarious. I had somebody ask on the page, let's see, the direct quote, has anyone actually finished watching Wonder Woman 84? It was so bad. Nope, got 20 minutes in and turned it off. What the hell is this? It's a love story, not an action movie. Other comments. Trash is the only way I would be allowed to describe it, and I'm a fan of the first film. They dropped the ball really bad on this one.
No. That right there, let me stop you there. They didn't drop the ball. They threw it down and busted it.
Yeah. Somebody said, sat down with the entire family to watch this film. My son didn't last 20 minutes. I left an hour into the film. I asked my wife this morning how the last hour and a half of the film was. She said she didn't know. She went to bed about 20 minutes after me.
Well, apparently I didn't see the after credit scene. I've heard there's an after credit scene. I didn't know about it. I didn't watch it. So
probably nobody knows.
It was.
That's kind of sad.
It was really disappointing. Sad. Yeah,
because Wonder Woman was that anchor in all of the DCEU of all the stuff that we've talked about. We've talked about the bad editing on Suicide Squad. We talked about how BVS was a cluster. Justice League obviously was so bad that they're going to do it again. We have split differences on Man of Steel, and Wonder Woman was that film where I went to see it in the theaters. I went to see it. Yeah, but Wonder Woman was the film that I remember where I went to see it in the theater. You went to see it in the theater. And then I actually came to Batesville. We watched it again in the theaters. You know, we both went to watch Wonder Woman at Melba together. It was supposed to be this one thing that was like, okay, at least we know Wonder Woman's in solid hands. And then just to have this happen, I mean, I haven't watched it, but just I'm glad I don't have HBO Max.
Well, like I said, the directing in the movie, I mean, I don't technically, I don't think that it's that. I don't think that it was ready story-wise. I mean, it's just like they threw everything at the wall and tried to grab things before they fell. I mean, it's just weird.
Okay, so in the DCEU, is it worst? Is it the worst that we've received, in your opinion, from the DCEU?
Are we counting Green Lantern?
No, you can't count Green Lantern. I seen somebody
just being fair.
I seen somebody said, you know what? I would rather watch Green Lantern than the new Fantastic Four. And trust me, I've tried to watch the new Fantastic Four. That's pretty awful. So,
Sean, I don't want to. I don't want to say it. I don't want to say it. I don't.
Wonder Woman 84 is the worst DCEU movie there's ever been made.
I would watch.
Grass Grow.
I would watch any other DC movie again before I watch Wonder Woman again.
That's hilarious. That's so funny. You know, I don't mean to do it. I don't mean to do it, but it's just
like I would watch Man of Steel. I mean, and I don't hate Man of Steel. Don't get me wrong. I don't hate it. Folks. I don't hate it. I just think you're smoking crack thinking it's great. It's not great. It's just good. I would watch Man of Steel twice before I watched Wonder Woman 84 again. And I'd watch every other movie at least one more time before that.
You're gonna watch
even
hey.
Well, hold on. I have not seen the Harley Quinn thing, so that's not fair.
Oh,
but
I hadn't seen
every movie but that.
Okay.
That's right.
Hey, let me just ask you this. This will be a true judge. Would you rather watch Elektra or Wonder Woman 84?
Well, I haven't actually seen Elektra in so long that I'd kind of like to see what it's like now, but I've had that thought before you asked that question.
That's funny. That's funny.
I actually thought about that last month.
I really hate that. I do, because I wanted this to be a hit so that maybe when Justice League rolls around, I'd be way pumped because, I'm not purchasing HBO Max yet. But it would be nice to have that lump sum know that when Justice League comes out, I'll watch some good Wonder Woman, I'll watch Watchmen, I'll watch Justice League, I'll get all this goodness in. And then you go and crap the bed on one of them. So I do hate that.
No. You get, whenever Justice League finishes and you get HBO Max, you watch Wonder Woman just for the sheer morbid curiosity. I want to see the look on your face that first podcast when you're like,
hey. So are you wanting? Let's do it. No. I got it.
I know watched what we the movie.
No, I know what we can do. Does HBO Max have a share option? You share it, we watch it, I live stream it, and you get to see live reaction. Oh, that's awful. Oh my. Oh.
Well, let's figure this out. Let's make this happen. That's amazing.
That would be hilarious. All right, man. This has been the strangest episode we've recorded. Just to do the way it's broken up, I feel like, maybe I know I came with two different tones on Mandalorian, and definitely I feel better about it now. I think it'll be awesome. On social media, you can find both of us at notsouthern@gmail.com. Send us emails. I'm most active on Instagram at Maynard98. Rick, how about you?
You can find me on Twitter at Ricky Westbrook. You can search Not So Southern Gentleman on Facebook, and you can look at Not So Southern Gentleman on Instagram.
Yeah, on Instagram. And before we go, let's see. Yes, sir. We have a final score of 37-17 for Not So Southern Gentlemen.
God.
I'm Sean.
I'm not even watching that game, Ricky.
He's not even watching that game, Ricky. Y'all have a good one.